symbolic. Also, Prutum Sadhan Sadhan Tata Prishan. Saints, yogis, everyone she asked. And Timti Booz, I don't know what Rivne is, but Timti
Rivun means Vadun.
Okay.
In that, what is that? The Rasulmi song about Triyuvan Roshe Chuknat. The second line says, Vireva, blah, blah, blah. So that Rivun means Vadun.
And Adha Maile Karnam Daya Ditnum Darshan. So after all of these things, eventually unko darshan milte hain. Sarni Chu Deshan Panas Painakune. So present everywhere, but still not there. That's the end meaning. And what it says in the note is eternal belief that God can be found everywhere as all creation. That's it.
और मेरे को वाइन रियलाइज तो उसने इंग्लिश डेफिनेशन यूं बोलना क्या करो थोड़ा जूम आउट.
It was a test for Aarti.
ये कविता.
Yeah, this one was my favorite because वो पूरा 15 days वाला बता रहे. हाँ. सत्संग पवित्र दोरुम नवे such roses throprit bar. So basically 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, every day she's describing the progress, how it happens, and that's also with the lunar cycle. So 7th day, 8th day, 9th day, 12th day. So satsang pavitra dorum. Pavitra, I think, is when you do a puja, you wear something which signifies purity, right? And then you're able to, I think Shruti kind of gestured it. That's what.
पवित्र. उसको दर्द से बनता है ना.
Or Nevisich Roses Thruprit Bar. I have no idea what that means. Dash. Okay. Dash Dashmi Dwar Parzanovum Ekadash Chandramas Karmas Lai. So Ekadashi is significant apparently with the moon and also something to do with the Sahasra Chakra. Dwadash Mandalas Dish Ramrovum Trayodash, which is 13th day. Triveni Navam Kai. So Triveni is also a river. In the notes it says signifies some river. And she's blessed with some ecstasy having from that river. ऐसा कुछ indication है. Chaturdash Swada Bhavan Shubh Novum. Puran and 14th day, Puran Panchadash Chandraman Korum Vavade, which is 15th day, Pura full moon cycle, and that's when she experiences extreme bliss. Okdo Bhugit Pan Sundarovum. Uski baad she basks in the glory that she was able to achieve all of this through her spiritual journey. And Satlay Gachit Kalpun Travait. Sori Sumrit Yahai Pirim Potlain Pooz. Can you go to the English meaning and probably summarize this? Who's sharing, Shashwat?
Yeah.
Can you scroll a little bit? Show them.
I'll just summary in English. Wait, I have it on my phone. So blessed by a little bit down. I'm done with blessed with the association of Holy Fellowship. So she started meditating. 7th day is when she starts. 10th day reached the gateway of my Lord's grace. 11th, the moon of my Ekadashi, the moon of my awakening dawned upon me. 12th is liberation. 13th day, Triveni, the river, holy dip in the confluence of Triveni between my eyebrows. 14th day, my internal self was decorated with his gaze. 15th is when the Purnima is something day, the moon of awakening rose on my conscience. On first day of next fortnight, I had a reshuffle of my spirit, and a subsequent day I experienced the thoughtless state of mind. With this achievement, I shifted my mind to my Lord's worship. So the full description is on each day of the lunar cycle, and then culminating into the second half of the lunar cycle on day 1 and day 2.
Yeah, Triveni is where, in the yogic system, Kashmir Shaivism or general yogic system, you're supposed to have 3 channels down your spine. One is the middle one, which is Sushumna. Then on the left side is Ira. On the other side is Pingala. One is with the sun, the other with the moon. And they all join together. And so there are 3 currents. Just as in Prayagraj or Allahabad is a Triveni Sangam. It's supposed to be a Sangam of Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati, although Saraswati doesn't go there anymore. So likewise, there is a Triveni Sangam here between the eyebrows. That's what she refers to, right?
Yeah, nice. I had heard of Ira Pink. In pranayam, you do that, left and right, and then you try to balance both the sides, because either or is dominant in some cases.
Right.
Oh, but I didn't connect it with that. Interesting. And also, I mean, if you've listened to Sadhguru enough, I think he describes how each days of the lunar calendar have an impact on your spiritual practices. I think it has some reference there as well. Only I don't know enough for the details. Okay, last one is Agre Grosum Vugbane Dur Swagum Orchik Kripaye Zagat Vuzum Yortike Me Swarumno. So Agre Grosum, being blessed eternally, inspiration came to me directly from the source. And she compares it with a farmer staying close by to the fields and who has a natural source of water for irrigating his land. So she's always been close to God, and his access has been quite convenient for her, is how she describes it as. Vuguvini dur swugum, Orchi Kripai Zagat Vuzum. So I didn't make any personal efforts. The water of realization came of its own to quench my thirst. Yoriti came me Swarum no. I didn't myself contribute even a bit in this direction. So even though it was quite a difficult journey for her, but she's also thankful that she was closer to God, and there's some illusion that the Lord also kinds of helps you in the process, or He also blesses you with this journey, that okay, this time you will realize, etc. वो पूरा वो बता रहे हैं. But in summary, she's just feels blessed that she was closer to God and was able to realize this in her life. Quite a small one. Done. Oh, mine is done. I don't know who to do for this.
Want to
I
go
think
next?
228 is next, according to the list. Did we do 225, 226, 227?
I think Amrita dropped off. Did she? Or
I think she's at work, might be busy. Okay,
Okay,
if we can come back, but let's go to 220.
We've looked at the reference sheet of before allocating the Vaakh. So yeah, if we've skipped numbers, that means they've already been covered.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you want me to go to 215, or should we continue with 228?
I will do mine next time. I just kind of was almost not able to join today, but I was able to. So yeah, do mine next time.
okay. Shall I do mine? Mine is 240 because I have to leave a little early.
Okay.
Okay. So can you go to 240? Mine is 240, right? Shruti, can you just confirm? I think it is 240.
Yes, 240, 41, 42.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, Rosine Ayas, Gatsun Gatsim, Akun Gatsim, Vav Lukpal. So, since I have come to live this life, return to the source cannot be denied, as the course of the breath has to be continued whatsoever. So obviously, Vav is the breath that she's talking about. So, this is very I didn't completely understand this actually. This is one of the hard ones, I think. So, Rosne Ayas Gatsun Gatsem, Pakun Gatsem Vav Lukpal. So, Pakun Gatsam Vav Lukpal means I should continue to use this breath, process or procedure that I'm doing. Despite, the first line, which is Rosne Ayas Gatsum Gatsem. I don't know how it relates to return to the source, but Rosni means just living. Ayas Gatsum Gatsem. It should happen. Gatsum Gatsem is kind of like it should happen. So I think overall, I think it might mean something like this, but basically she's saying that I have to continue my breath. I think that's what matters is, continuing the kriya with the breath that she's doing. Kehanas Petai Natun Gatsem. So Kehanas is basically nothing. So Kehanas Petai Natun Gatsem, Atsun Gatsem Suksham Prakarya. So Suksham Prakarya, I think, is the because I think this Prakari came up before too. So I think it is the Kriya that she does with the breath. But again, I think overall it means if life's real purpose is not followed, it will be a wasteful exercise because nothing except good karma goes along through its end. So I think that's what this one means. Does anyone have any comments or anything?
No, I think I mean, in the notes also, it's almost same as what you said. Basically, don't forget the real reason why you're here.
Yeah, I think I know the words because a lot of these words I didn't understand. Like this Vaakh really has some, completely different words. So not sure the exact meaning of this, but I think overall, it does mean that I should continue with this, kriya because that's what matters and that's what will take me to the end. Nothing else kind of matters.
Sukshma means what? I think I've come across Sukshma before.
So to Hindi mein it means like very fine, right? Sukshma, but in this context, I don't know.
Sukshma in Sanskrit means subtle. Fine is also right, but subtle is Sukshma.
Sukshma.
Okay.
Or yes, opposite. Sukshma, right?
Opposite is Thul.
Thul, yeah.
Which in Kashmiri becomes Thul, like the egg. That is the opposite of Sukshma.
Oh, is it? Why is it?
Yeah. Thul is from Sthul.
So why is it the opposite of
Because Sukshma is subtle. It's like Atma is Sukshma, while Sharir is Thul. There are, when in yoga, because we are doing Laleshwari's yoga, there are 3 Sharires. In fact, one is born with 3 Sharires. One is called the Karan Sharir, which is the causal body, which makes us do what we want. Personality, deep personality. The other is Sthul Sharir, which is our mind, which is in our head, Sthul Sharir. And the third is Sukshma Sharir. The Sukshma Sharir is, Sthul Sharir is the body, physical body. Sukshma Sharir is the mind. And then Or I mixed it up. I'm sorry. I mixed
No,
it
but
up.
you're right. The Sukshma is probably the more subtle one, right? So
Yeah,
not
this other
mind,
one.
right? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Sthul, Sukshma, sorry, and the third one was?
It is Karan. Karan means the causal, which is,
Causal.
why do we make certain choices? Because in the very core of ourself, not the Atma, next to the Atma, is our Karan Sharir. The whole idea is that when you're born, the Karan Sharir comes with you. The rest you learn. Our conditioning, childhood, etc. We pick up our mind, etc. That's discipline. But Karan Sharir is the very core of our personality, according to the reincarnation theory that you're born with. That is your fundamental personality, next to the Atma. And that makes you, for example, I had gone to my dentist for my regular checkup, and the girl, this is just yesterday, and I said, what are you doing? She says, I'm a dentist assistant. I said, why don't you go back to school? And she's young, maybe 20 or 21. She says, no, I can't go back to school. She's an American girl. That's a Karan Sharir says no matter whether it opens up opportunities or not. That is something totally core to yourself.
I see.
Interesting.
That's good to know. Okay. So Shashwat, 241 is next, right? Okay.
Whoa. I thought mine was the longest ever.
Yeah, this one seems long.
Okay.
This I will agree that, sorry, I was kind of offline. This I would agree that I gave it by on purpose to Vishalji.
Why?
This deserves a lyrical meaning on Alat.
I have a special line because this Vaakh is very Vishal.
All Vishal things come to me. Okay, let's see this one. Okay, so Sirius Hugh Prakash na Kune. So nowhere is there brightness like the sun. Gangi Hugh Tirth na Ka. No Tirth like the Ganges, right? Boys Hugh Bandhav na Kune. I think Bandhav means just bandhu, like friend, comrade.
Relationship.
So boys Hugh friend या relationship में का रानी हूँ सोखी न का सोखी मतलब as in सुख the रानी एक second रानी क्या
होगा husband, could it be husband because she's talking of boys and husband, maybe
it's saying wife
or
no,
wife, okay,
equals
wife,
the company of a wife, yeah, so you're right, like, but okay,
should I scroll down to the English?
नहीं कोई बात नहीं, yeah, company of a wife, yeah, no delight equals the company.
Maybe like Rani, as in.
Oh, Rani, yeah, that absolutely. I think that is correct.
Rani hu sakhi nika. Okay. Achan hu prakash na kunye. No light like the eyes. Kothan hu tirth nika. Tirth nika. Acha, kotige knees. Kothan hu tirth nika. So no pilgrimage spot equals the power of legs that takes us there. So basically, I think it's saying that legs are, important and all that. Tandas hu bandhavna kune. Sandas hu bandhavna kune. No relation equals the ease that is enjoyed with better monetary strength. Achha, chand matlab as in the chand. Pocket, yeah.
Money, basically.
Money, yeah. So, chandas hu bandhav na kune, khani hu sok na ka. In the translation, khani it says means garment. So, no delight equals the comfort that a garment provides by covering our body. So, khani hu sok na ka. Mai hu prakash na kune. Mai means just love, right? Affection. So, Mai hu prakash na kune, lai hu tirth na ka. So Lai is, according to the translation, is the inner self. So no pilgrimage spot like the inner self. So, instead of going to outside temples and stuff, just look inside you, and that's the pilgrimage. Dayashu bandhavna kune, no friend like the God. Bhayashu swapnaka. Bias, in the translation, it says it means fear of death. So specifically, bhaya is fear of death. So no delight equals the fear of death and punishment for our ill deeds. So this is a little deep.
This was very this was clear. This was easy.
Yeah.
But about the cotton hue, the knees. I remember when I was growing up in Kashmir, one of the good wishes that somebody would get would be dorkot.
Dorkot.
Yeah. Orzu to dorkot. Yeah.
Orzu dorkot.
Yeah.
Also,
I've even heard.
Go ahead.
I've even heard people say Kotindre bhi for some reason.
Cotton tree. Cotton is tree.
Nice.
Sweating on my knees.
Because coat was considered very important, right, back then, because it is
This is before knee surgery. Before knee surgery.
तो वे उसना मैं आज ग्रुपस में स्लीव पूत मीनस महेश वाला नीम कोट फुट रहा है मेरे द्राक नबर.
So the last line is a bit confusing to me. What exactly is she trying to say?
I have just wanted to add, I have heard Achan Gash Kothan Hosh. I've heard that as well.
Kothan Hosh.
Yeah, that I also heard that. I think it's like a he, right, to somebody saying
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Rajendra ji, your camera is a little bit down. You want to
sorry. That better?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so the last line was a bit confusing for me.
Yeah, I thought the last line was kind of deep in the sense that it is almost the reverse, right? She's saying that you sokhnika, the fear of death is such that it keeps you on your toes. So
Okay.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah. I think another take on that, the very last line, of course, the words are quite clear, right? Bhaya means fear.
Right.
It's also said that the greatest teacher is yam, or death. If you live life as if today's is the last day, that's the best way to live.
Yeah.
The fear of death is what drives you to be on the right track, be actually, plugged on to whatever you want to do. So it's a kind of sentiment similar to that, yeah.
Correct.
Good point, yeah.
Okay.
Just adding something from the notes, which is interesting, is each of the three paras is apparently a conversation between Laleshwari's husband, herself, and Siddhmol, the guru. So the sequence is, the first is the answer to the 4 questions by the husband. Second one is Siddhmol, and the last one and the best one apparently is Laleshwari's answer. So she the last paragraph basically surpasses the answers of the other 2.
Oh, because they all, these 4 lines, they are
have the
same question.
What is brightness? What is
the only thing is changing is the answer, but Prakash
I had that question. Like हर किसी में अगर बोल रहे हैं कि प्रकाश जैसा कुछ भी नहीं है, but then why are there 3 answers for the same question?
So there's 3 people discussing this.
Because it also reflects obviously the husband has the limited understanding, so he वो son को सबसे बड़ा मानता है, and then
as all husbands.
But the last one is, it's my who Prakash Chanaka. So there's no
correct. So
such
just deeper meaning.
Love
deeper
is
answers.
the light, right? Yeah.
So
you can even, the answers reflect the intellectual maturity of
Yeah, thank you, Aarti. I think that is I think that really
it's beautiful.
Attaches a different meaning to everything. Okay, good. Okay, next one is 242. Okay. Kus babu tu koso merji. Who is who's father and who's mother, who's your father and who's your mother. Kemi Lerji Berji Butt. Kemi Lerji matlab who has attached Berji Butt. I mean, I think it means like a relationship, serious relationship. Meaning with mother and father, you are very attached, right? So, kus bab to koso merji, kemi lerji berji bat, curl gatsak na kuni bab na kuni merji. Curl gatsak matlab in future when you will go, na kuni bab na kuni merji. There will be no father, there will be no mother. Zernit cover lerjit berji bat. What? Sorry.
What?
It's what? 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 Is it what or means what actually?
What? In Hindi, it's what. No,
What? Urdu is also what. Yeah. And okay. So Zernit cover lerjit berji what? If you know all this, why are you creating these strong, serious relationships with your father and mother? Because eventually you have to go, and curl means eventually, like in a future time. There will be no father, there will be no mother. So why are you so attached with your father and mother? Because ultimately, when you leave this world, none of them will be there to accompany you.
Is it the husband telling her that don't stay at your mom and dad's place, come back? No, I just made it up. No.
But maybe that could have inspired this Vaakh.
Subhashji, you are becoming one of us. Don't do this.
Okay. Yeah, but I think that's pretty much it. So this Vaakh actually is, I think it's not that deep or anything. I think maybe it is, but from what we read, I think this is it to it, right? Basically, don't stay attached to serious relationships because they won't last and you'll have to leave. I think that's it for me. So, right, these are my three.
Amrita, why do we not have 225 Sato? You missed a
covered last time.
Okay, so I'm Kholun.
Okay, I have to leave, guys. Okay, so I'll see you next week.
Happy birthday to your wife.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Purnima.
Oh, nice.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
So I'm 237, 38, 239.
So there was actually 228, 229, 230 was for Pritika, I guess. She's not here, right? Oh, she's here.
She's here.
Yeah,
Okay. We
she's
should
here.
start
Okay.
from. We should begin from the top now because even Shruti is here. So let's do 215.
No. Shruti said she would do it next time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. ठीक है, Aarti is done. So Pritika.
अगर तशे करूँ तो कार.
Mechu vanan. Mechun thonti pans.
Meches. ठीक चलो ज़्यादा उठो.
मनस्य मान भाव सरस. So मतलब मुझे इंडिविजुअल वर्ड्स के मीनिंग नहीं पता है तो मैं पूरा बोलती हूँ. मनस्य मान भाव सरस छुर कूप नेरस नार छुक ल्यक लिएक योद तुली कूटे तुली तुल तय तुल न के. So ye Vaakh is all about anger. So it's saying as fire inside earth bursts out and causes widespread destructions, so is the human heart. When it bursts out, people go out of control and abuse each other violently. If the cause of this outburst is weighed in a cool mind, it proves weightless and without any substance. So it's basically saying कि बहुत गुस्सा हो तो you should, instead of just acting in anger, it's better to cool down
because sometimes you might do things that you'll feel ashamed of later on. इसमें तुली का क्या मतलब होता है? किसी को पता है क्या?
तुली मतलब टेक्निकली तो उठाना होता है.
Tolna.
Oh,
Like to
I see.
balance
I think
on the balance
weighing.
scales. Yeah.
Acha.
But the last line is interesting, right? I
Yeah,
don't know what each of the tul means, but it's
yes, it's a nice alliteration there, right?
yeah.
Tul na ke.
Tul na ke. Tul na ke.
मतलब बैलेंस करो चीजों को.
I think she's talking about like when the translation also says when you weigh it in a cool mind, it's weightless. So she's kind of putting it on the scales and saying it's not that heavy.
Right.
ये अच्छा था हमारा third line. It matches with what we did in kosher zaban today. लियाकत सारे.
So next.
What does liak mean? Liak.
मुझे भी नहीं पता.
Abuses.
लियाकत is
Abuse.
Gali.
Oh, okay.
Gali. That's the favorite thing for Kashmiris, right?
Yeah.
I don't think the language is complete without liak.
Or threat, I guess. I don't know. That's a cute word. Weirdly.
Yeah, no, threat is one of the liakas.
Yeah. I can I can write a long
Liaka
list.
is Sutora speakery.
Dan maja asna mein bati shropan क्या सोचना मैं लग सारा के.
ये सब रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है.
हाँ.
No, but actually this is true because one of my cousins married a Punjabi and this kid grew up with his nana nani when he was chota tha. So the only Kashmiri he knows is all the liak. Usko aur kuch bhi nahi aata hai. That's all he heard in the Kashmiri culture.
That's all you need, honestly.
Yeah, which goes to prove the hypothesis that the first words you learn in Kashmir are all the liak, not the good stuff.
Okay, so the next one is Agurai Ratak Sar Sarya Tarak Ad Kav Mudo Fatak Na Za Agaras Andar Shiv Tashakti Vuchuk Vuchuk Hakhe.
No. Hitchak.
Hechak Tasundui now. So it's talking about अच्छा पहले मैं English translation पढ़ लेती हूँ. If you focus on the source of divinity, you won't go astray but proceed gradually to the goal. Once there you'll see both Shiva and Shakti and get illuminated perpetually. Having thus blessed eternally, you'll get closer to the Lord and be one with His name. So here she says that Laleshwari highlights the fear of psychosis in man about the hard travel he may have to undertake in seeking the grace of Lord for spiritual awakening. So she's saying people get sucked up in the comforts of world and they forget what their real purpose is, and that going back to if they go on the path of seeking Shiva and Shakti, they'll be blessed eternally.
Last line is super nice. Vuchak hechak tasundui na. Next.
230. Thait Gandit Shamina Manas Brant Yamav Trav Timay Gay Khasit Shastar Buzit Chu Yam Bhai Krur Suna Pavan Pach Tadhani Lasit. So this one is talking about materialism in a little bit. It's saying eating tasty dishes and wearing nicely won't buy you any lasting peace. Those who leave the delusion behind get a sudden uplift. Listening to the scriptures and divine discourses frees one from the scare of death and gets freedom from all depths of worldly obligations. So it's basically focused on if you're being materialistic, you might be able to show things off, but you might not have mental peace because that comes from how you have acted in your daily routine. So it's better to focus on that rather than like trying to just show off.
Next.
I think that the theme of all of these is, attachments, anger, talking about rising above all those things.
Yeah, I like them a lot actually.
अत्र मीरा जी.
Could they relate? Aren't you mute?
Yes, it is.
Aren't you mute? मिशन ज्यादा पढ़ाई करना
Don't worry.
अस्करो ये सही सॉरी क्यों शब्द पाने आसक्त पाने कासक पांसी निश लबक सौदूर जिंदे मरख्त मरित लबक अद देशक शिवसुन मok. So you are yourself the absolute and answer to every interrogation. Once you get awakened to yourself, you find the ocean of divinity. To achieve this, you die to the desire of the world before you die. All your hopes are fulfilled and you see the Lord face to face. So, iska piche jo explanation hai, ismein Laleshwari directs man to look within and experience the real truth. She underlines that there is no need to seek Lord anywhere else, as the pure heart of a seeker with pure love and devotion for the Lord is his real abode. Once he experiences the truth of his self, he loses all interest in the desire of the world. This is a wonderful experience, but not easily attainable. One who is deeply involved in the affairs of the world and the slave of whatever, jo bhi hum padhte hain na. So one has to distance himself mentally from the world and keep under control all the unnecessary demands of the body. This done, one takes a big leap towards liberation. So this is what Laleshwari describes to die before death, die to the desire of the world. ठीक है, तोरा फिक्री है?
10 marks.
Okay.
तोरा? Avatal Pyavatal Kaugam Tilith. Get free outright of the worldly desire, or you will break off the intentions further. Yakar Yeti Karlage Govind Khanda. Yiman Gajra Timan Gavshara. Radhayo Bhakta Chat Bhavat Atma. So get free outright of the worldly desire, or you will break off the intentions further. Those who awaken sooner take a better lead to redemption. Remember the devotion of Radha for Krishna, who got both her heart and soul purified with the purest love of her Lord. अवताल क्या गो अवताल प्यावताल मैंने पत हुई क्या गो अवताल ते प्यावताल Mishini first line ही आने में समझ अवताल प्यावताल कौगम तीत क्या गो So पीछे इसमें explanation में तो वही चीज है. The purpose of life is not just following its temptations.
चलते ना ब्याह किताब तब मुझे उसना verbatim.
Meaning
I am waiting for Rajendra ji or Subhash ji to speak because they will know the answers to everything.
No, I don't know. मैं Kashmir is Zabjan. Which is Zabjan?
Avatar Pyavatar. 72. Ahtin likhti.
Iman to chan pati pay kyun sabun.
Iman to chan pati. You saw the explanation how. All that lives must die. Those who live a life of satisfaction must strive for peace. She says there is no higher achievement than peace. Let us be pure and spiritually strong. Then automatically the understanding is widened. To develop such a sincerity, one must develop powerful love and faith. So Lala gives an example of Radha and her love for Krishna. मतलब तो मीरा का प्यार कृष्णा के लिए, राधा तो उसकी गर्लफ्रेंड थी.
मतलब I just had me obsession. Thank you. मतलब you know I think love is not like doesn't have to be like like I think even Yashoda had love, right? So it's all like the same thing.
It's a form of bhakti or devotion towards another person. So it's like.
Subhashji, you are muted, and I did not mute you.
Yeah, none of the old books mention Radha. Or if you look at the Mahabharata, etc., there's no mention of Radha. So Radha comes up very late. I think even the Bhagavad Puran doesn't have Radha. So Radha was sort of created to be a medium to express devotion. And so it's not, a lot of what we have in all these Indian stories, Purans and the Itihas or epics are not, of course, literal stories. They're created by the poets to communicate a certain ras, a certain sentiment. Yeah. One-sided love, that is Radha, right? Or maybe both-sided, I don't know.
Both-sided.
Okay.
I think unrequited was Meera's.
Meera.
Yeah, because Meera is a historical person, right? And
correct.
Just 200-300 years ago, 300-400 years ago.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
So you could me khush. 233 could me khush. Mansoor Marunt Gandun Neshkal. ये कोरा ऐसे?
Oh, sorry. वो गौड़े फिर मत.
ना शाश्वत शुक्र जल्द मनस.
Mansoor Marunt Gandun Neshkal. Pend Wittith Thav Hai. So Dev Putra Suvani Panai Vendo Suvai Dabze Sahaj Krai. So it's बेसिकली अपने माइंड को कंट्रोल करना. जैसे पेंडचना वेटान, पेंडचना वो राइस का जो बनता है, जब किसी की डेथ होती है उसमें पेंडचना वेटान, दैट्स लाइक राइस, कुक्ड राइस. ऐसे म्यूट हून म्यूट डिफरेंट रहा डिफरेंट आसान पेंड. सो बेसिकली इट्स जस्ट curb all your desires or सब mind को control करने के लिए. It's really difficult to bring round the vacillating mind, concentrate on a single point. The wavering thoughts need to be consolidated as a lump of cooked rice. So, वैसे. Oh, the progeny of the supreme creation. It's the truest devotion of the Lord. And having done, the supreme Shiva will guide you personally to your ultimate awakening. So, Yolchwana Deva Putra Suvani Pane Vendo. So, he will guide you. When you do that, then he will guide you to your destination, I think. That's what it means. Right?
Nishkal is what?
Nishkal means to drive out or away. Nishkal is a Sanskrit word which means to drive out. It could have other meanings also. I don't know.
इस लाइन में इसका क्या मतलब आएगा?
तो गंडुन निष्कल, that you can't really बांध नहीं सकते हो ना. जो
Okay.
मन है उसको बांधना मुश्किल है because it goes out.
Okay, ठीक है. Okay.
फिर वो है प्यंड meaning संस्कृत में पिंड which means जो मुट्ठी में बनाते हैं ना.
Yeah, rice का
तो
जो.
ये right.
So when you do all that, then Shiva will guide you.
Right.
Karabu, next.
Okay, so next is
234.
Rajendra ji.
Okay. Soikul na dod satya sagizai. Sarpana tulan dizna fo. Yusyut kare sutyut sware. Prere kurzina panunpan. So soy is that that plant which causes
Poison ivy.
Poison ivy. Yeah, poison ivy. Exactly. Poison ivy.
Poison ivy should nettle grass. Poison ivy should different kya symbol hai?
Soy it's
But the same idea. Similar.
It's the same idea. Yeah.
Similar plant.
It was, yeah,
I was realized liya kasna charan me vanyo switch magar tak sunchul trav mein.
I was when I was in school. I still remember. I was headmaster. Na, if we were running and we didn't run fast enough, so Sai Sitan, he would give us a.
मैं जो उस ल्यूक मुझसे मैं बोस एक दो जीट है रस्मस बोस खबर को मचा खबर क्या बोस लॉकट तो मैं ले सोए.
Yeah, it's very painful. Yeah. So anyways,
No, but it's actually used to beat children.
I know.
To discipline them.
Yeah, punish them. Yeah, punishment.
मेरी बहन को बहुत देते थे.
पानस उस discipline करना.
So anyway, cycle na dot satya sex means there's no point in trying to raise the soy pool with putting milk in it. It's not going to become sweeter by doing that. It's not going to lose its sting just by trying to. No matter how nice you are to it, or how good you are to it. Same thing she says. Sarpana thulan this is not for means sarp ke jo ande hai unko trying to be nice and trying to unko palan karke they are going to only end up biting you, so there's no point in doing that. Yes yut kare sutyat sware means as you sow so shall you reap. So he's basically saying, okay, there's no point in getting into the into the bad things in the world, into the last line. I don't see how it mixes with the first three lines. I'm not very clear about that part. But bottom line is all these things which are some things, which if they are constantly bad, you're not going to be able to fix them up, is what she's trying to say.
I think the last line, and also taking from the previous work, is the role of the life of a householder, right? You do enough to discharge your responsibilities, you're engaged when you're there, but at the same time, don't go deep enough that the attachment, anger, lust, and greed make you do bad things. Just do enough to dispose your social responsibilities.
Rajendra ji, could the last line mean credit? Could it mean into a well? Don't throw yourself into the well.
Because that is cruel.
But maybe it's sort of inflected. Maybe you're right, but that's why I only asked.
This could be kriya, right?
Maybe, who knows? Yeah.
I mean, the way he has translated it. Yes.
Morass could be like the well. उसके अंदर ही फंस गए ना.
कीचड़ को क्या बोलते हैं? कीचड़ को
हाँ, कीचड़
दलदल.
नहीं दलदल. कीचड़ को क्या कहते हैं? You're right.
Mets, no?
Mets means मिट्टी.
Mets is मिट्टी.
Okay, हाँ.
कीचड़.
Mud.
English.
No, in Kashmiri.
अरे, why don't you check University of Chicago का website फटाफट से? University of Chicago Kashmiri website. I mean Kashmiri dictionary.
Prayer
I had
part, doesn't it means don't go too deep into stuff like like don't. The typical actual meaning is fry karun, deep fry karun.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
like cry months.
Okay.
I have heard this a lot of times.
Okay.
Awesome, yeah.
So basically, you should sütü travun.
Don't get drowned into stuff like these worldly things, basically.
Right.
Mekuri khosh. Which also
Nice one.
nice one.
So after all of this, Laldyad, we have become very wise, right?
In thoughts, yeah, with actions.
All I've realized is that was wise.
One thing is what is mentioned in the notes, which I was reading, because not just the notes made the translation of each of these, but also the introduction of the notes. So when they introduced these series of 200 and 20 onwards or something, it said ki they have classified it as miscellaneous. Ki this came either about like from people out after Laldyad, or like we don't know where the origins of these are, because you can see like it has kind of become a little shallow in a way, and also not very like Laldyadi. I don't know. So I think these are all that came through like different people or her disciples or like poets and stuff. So, but yeah, I think it's still cool.
Good.
Okay, 235. Chukunye, chuna kunye, buchamor, yor na kunye, daipal tai, mul na kunye, chai chain, the gorun na kunye. So chukunye, chuna kunye means, he's neither the presence of the Lord, meaning he's neither here, but he's everywhere at the same time. Vuchum or yor na kunye. So I tried to look for him everywhere, but I couldn't find God. Daipal tai mul na kunye. The fruits of the tree of the Lord's grace are seen all around, but not the roots. So pal is pal the mool na kunye. Acha. So you can see the pal, but you can't see the root, the mool. Chay saint the gorun na kunye means he is not to be sought anywhere except within one's own self. Chay chain the gorun na kunye means it's your own self that is God. So you don't have to really look for him anywhere else. It's just within you, and you just have to do self-introspection.
It's kind of a tongue twister, this one, no?
It is. It's a nice wordings.
I really like it, yeah. Chukune, chunakune. But the end one also, chen to garu nakune. It's cool.
Yeah.
I think this must have been hers.
But it echoes.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, it echoes. You have exactly the same lines in Kena Upanishad. You might want to look it up. He is nowhere, but he's everywhere. You have all these lines, so you might want to look it up.
Yeah.
Kena Upanishad, Kena.
Yeah. I shall look for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody could write a paper on it.
I know.
Laleshwari and Kena Upanishad. That's how academic papers are written.
No, she was definitely. I think she probably knew a lot of the. She has studied a lot of those things, I think.
Yeah, Sanskrit was very common in Kashmir, and there is a South Indian scholar who claims, it's somewhere on the internet, some well-known scholar. He claims that 60 or 70% of all of the extraordinary Sanskrit literature that we have came from Kashmir.
Wow.
So this was really the center.
I wonder what does it mean to most works, right? You will see God. Like, what does it mean? You'll see the manifestation of God. What does it mean, seeing God?
Well, that is.
You will realize yourself.
Yeah, no, that is the Kashmir Shaivism कि तुम ही शिव हो, लेकिन क्योंकि तुम बाहर देख रही हो इसलिए तुम अपने आप को नहीं पहचान रही हो. यदि आप अपने मुख को टर्न करो, इसको it's called pratyabhigya, then you suddenly will see that you are actually Shiv. That's the, whether it's really, it's so easy to experience, it's not, obviously.
I think that Pratibhigya is really unique to Kashmir, right? That idea of...
yeah, yeah. What is Chaitanyam? जो पहला शिव सूत्र है चैतन्यम आत्मा, जो चेतना है वही आत्मा है. कि your awareness itself is your atma, which would surprise oneself. How my awareness, how could it be atma? And atma is Shiv. So how is my awareness Shiv? Just to recognize that is what they are talking about, what Laleshwari is talking about.
So Vajji, I think I was remembering talking about AI. While talking about AI, I was remembering our transformations, your lecture on transformations in East Coast when you were there and when I met you. So maybe one of the sessions you could just give us,
ChatGPT and AI and the future of the world. Sure.
And consciousness and tie it into Lal somehow.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's sort of relevant, yeah.
Okay,
that would make a really interesting paper, yeah.
Perhaps maybe right after this, before we read Dawn, because we do have some time, because Rakeshji is busy with the literary event, or the ICC.
Yeah, in New York. Book event, yeah.
Book event, yeah.
Okay, 236. Pane aap panas sate, pane aap panas sate, pane kurun panun vyachar, pane panun nav nich novun, pane gupun panun pan. So pane aap panas sate. So the Lord came to create whatever exists. Pane kurun pane vyachar means he planned everything with jo vichar kiya tha, he did exactly what he thought of doing. Pane panun nav nachnovan means he himself chose to nav nachnovan means he chose. I don't know why he's saying this. The translation seems weird. He himself chose to be such popular, but preferred to be hidden from the view of common man. Pane gupun panun pan. So this is, I think, another one of the interesting thoughts in Kashmiri Shaivism, where the whole idea that why should this supreme consciousness, if it was always there, why should it have decided to hide himself, Why do we not realize our true self, right? Why do we have that yearning towards looking for ourselves? And yet at the same time, we never seem to think we know who it is. And he says it's like a game which Shiv has played with himself. It's like hide and seek. He plays with himself. He chooses to be, one of the attributes of Shiva. So in regular Hinduism, in Advaita Hinduism, there is no other attribute to consciousness, pure consciousness, except for maybe Sat Chit and Anand, right? Maybe that's the most you would talk about. But in Kashmiri Shaivism, there's two more other attributes: the act of being able to hide oneself and the act of revealing itself. So those are two other attributes that Kashmiri Shaivism has added, and that is what gives this whole world a meaning as compared. According to the Advaita Vedantas, they would say that this world is mithya; it's not reality. So don't even bother about it, Whereas Kashmiri Shaivists would say, no, this world is, part of Shiva, and it's very much there, and it's very much enjoyable, and enjoy it also. There's nothing to be,
Right.
It's not something to be shunned, It's something to be fully enjoyed, but at the same time, you have to do your introspection, and realize yourself.
True, very good. But the third line, Pane Panu now nets novun.
Nech known, made popular.
Oh, acha. Nech novun. Okay. Or from one became many. Popular in that sense, you could also say that. And then Gupun, of course, means to hide.
Hide, right.
Yeah.
Gupun is a
Animal?
yeah.
Hey, Gupta. Sanskrit ka. I always go to Sanskrit roots.
Gopniya.
Yeah, Gopaniya. Sanskrit.
Gopaniya,
Gupta means, or Gup
Yeah,
means hidden.
Gupt is, but Gupun is a cow, like cattle. Pane Gupun Panun Pan. But it's saying Gupt, basically, yeah,
It's
hiding.
keeps
It's
hiding.
saying hiding, yeah.
Secret.
But it could
Okay.
also, Amrita, that could be the real meaning. It became like an animal who has forgotten the true self. It could even be that.
Sure.
Gupun as an animal, right? Sure. Yeah.
Makes sense. Amita, you were saying that Neshnovan is something else?
नहीं मैं कह रही थी हमने पहले किया ये वाला. We had already done.
Acha. Oh, okay.
But we talked about Patri.
But Rajendra ji, one small point. I think most scholars would say that Kashmir Shaivism is also Advaita Vedanta, but there is a difference between Shankar's Advaita Vedanta and Kashmir Shaivism Advaita Vedanta. Usme you are right कि पुरुष उसमें conscious नहीं है, and consciousness comes when Purush and Prakriti meet, right? In Kashmir Shaivism, Param Shiv sits at the very top of the chain. Param Shiv is conscious, and so right at the top, and then therefore it means that the entire universe is conscious, and so that is a very important difference between Shankaracharya's Vedanta and Kashmir Shaivism Vedanta. But Kashmir Shaivism is also Advaita Vedanta because it's non-dual.
Yeah, I mean, they're both Advaita, but when you say Advaita Vedanta, typically it's understood as Shankaracharya's, yeah.
Right.
But both are Advaita, that's true. And really, it's like splitting here, trying to compare Kashmiri Shaivism with Advaita Vedanta. They're very similar. There's just a slight difference in, I think, overall.
But it's a huge difference. The fact that consciousness has 5 concealment tattvas, and then Shiva has 3 ones related to Ichha Shakti and Gyan Shakti and Karya Shakti. Just as you have the 3 goddesses, Saraswati being Ichha Shakti, Lakshmi being Gyan Shakti, and Durga being Karya Shakti. So there are 3 of those, and so it also maybe in some sense provides more comfort to people, and that's why a lot of people in the West are also attracted to Kashmir Shaivism, because it says that Shiva, that the whole universe is conscious, being. Right. Shiva is conscious, and therefore there is a purpose that we can be connected to. In Shankaracharya's Vedanta, you don't have that comfort. You just say there's nothing. Purush is not conscious of itself.
Correct. And then the only thing that they say in Advaita Vedanta, is that the fact that we don't realize that is due to Maya, and then they don't really explain where does this Maya come from, and it's like.
But you have Maya in Kashmir Shaivism also.
Right.
See, one of the tattvas is Maya,
right?
And it's Maya which makes us forget. Yeah. Right. So it is about the same.
That's what I feel. It's very similar. It's just as I said, splitting here.
Right.
Actually, so Rajendra ji is done. So I think since we are talking about the Trika philosophy and also comparing it with the Advaita Vedanta, so I wanted to just go to this note section, introduction, page number 479, printed 479. And I wanted to understand what it meant, because I kind of got like a little confused about, it was talking about the Shiva. So just go on top, 479, it's printed 479 on the sheet. So this is 475. So go down, 8, here. So here it says, the second paragraph, in fact, the human being resides in the objective inferior energy of Lord Shiva. The Trika philosophy of Kashmir Shaivism teaches us how this individual being, immersed in inferior energy, can be carried towards the Supreme. subjective energy of Lord Shiva through his cognitive intermediate energy. So first of all, I have lost like my train of thought there. And then it says, so the purpose of studying Trika system is to rise from the objective energy through cognitive energy and finally be one with the subjective energy of Lord Shiva. So if you can
Sure, I can explain it. You know, I talked about these extra 11 tattvas. You know, you have Param Shiva, and from there comes Shiva and Shakti. And then Shiva ke teen roop hain, which are called Sadakya, then Shiva Shakti Tattva, and then finally Sadvidya Tattva. Okay. Jo Karya Shakti hai, that is because for Karya, you have to be a part of Prakriti, right? So that is called inferior or Ashuddha. Jo Keval consciousness hai, that is called superior and Shuddha. So jo beech wala hai, Gyan is Shuddha Ashuddha, because that's where consciousness meets physicality or materiality, right? But when you come to actual action, that's also called avidya, because then you think that the body itself is doing it, or that is a kind of a veil that falls on you. So the terms inferior and superior are actually misleading, and I would not have used them if I was writing it. But this is what they refer to. What is material centric or consciousness centric?
Okay, so because it does mention at the top, the first paragraph, it says there are three energies: para, parapara, and apara, which is supreme, intermediate, and inferior.
No, you don't read them. It's para meaning beyond, para plus apara, meaning middling, and lower one is apara. Apara means para means far, apara means near. Jo near hai, that is material. Para is the intermediate region, and para means which is transcendent. Consciousness is transcendent. So para means transcendent. तो दूसरा वाला ए है, उसके ऊपर वो होना चाहिए लाइन.
Yeah, it is like ki matra. Okay. So now if you read this again, so the purpose of studying is to rise from the objective energy, which is basically the inferior, to the cognitive energy, which is para,
which is intermediate, para,
intermediate,
para plus apara.
And finally to be the subjective energy of Lord Shiva, which is para. Okay. As long as one resides in objective energy, one is a victim of sorrow and is entangled in the wheel of repeated births and deaths. So one has to emerge from the objective energy and enter into the subjective energy, in which one is liberated from all the sadness. Okay, this I understood. Okay, thank you.
Well, you guys are awesome. I mean, this is very subtle. I'm very impressed.
Okay, which page?
Okay. We can go back to page, Vaakh number 237.
Yep, that's me. So the 237 and 238 are both interrelated. Again, it's riddles again. So I can start with the first one. Kusa male lusai na pakan. Kusha male lusai na volgan sumiru. Kusa male lusuina marant javan, kusa male lusuina karan nindra. So in the first two lines there, she's asking a question, basically, who's the one that doesn't tire of walking? And then the second line is, who is the one who doesn't tire crossing Mount Sumeru? So in Hindu cosmology, Sumeru is defined as the center of the universe. People call it the mountain where our gods reside, basically where Shiva resides. And similarly, in Indonesia, it seems the Hindus hold the belief that the mountain is the abode of Shiva in Java. That is called Mount Sumeru. So they think that it was brought from India, and that's why it's in Java. So that was a good point to know while I was reading about it. So the last two lines are, who's the one who doesn't tire being born and facing death repeatedly? And the last line is, and who's the one who does not tire of talking ill of others?
Ninda.
So then there's a connected, the next four lines are almost connected to it. So basically she's answering it, saying, Zala male lusana pakan, Siri lusui na volgan sumiru, Sandram Lusuina Maranta Zavan, Manush Lusuina Karan Nyandra.
Okay.
So, water. Yes, basically now it's answer to all the questions.
These are the answers. Meru, Stu Meru. Meru means the axis. See, Shiva is also called the axis. Or jo Shivling hai, it's actually in Atharva Ved, it's supposed to be of infinite length. The axis of the whole universe. Because consciousness is also the axis of the universe. Everything we see now. So Sumeru. And that's where Shiva, uniconically, if you don't see him as a person with eyes and so on and so forth. So it's the axis of the universe, and Mount Kailas is taken from there, that concept. But so these are the questions and these are the answers, corresponding answers, right? Merudand. The spine is also called Merudand. Dand means, Meru, which holds the axis of the body. Yeah. Meru.
So now,
translate it.
So now she says, water doesn't tire of walking. Sun doesn't tire of crossing Mount Sumeru every day. The moon doesn't tire of being born and facing death unendingly. And the man doesn't tire of speaking ill of others. So basically, she is saying that mudslinging is a common human trait. And
it's called gossip. It's called gossip.
I feel like these last section, it might or might not be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what there is towards the end when you are reading these last few, that's where there's a question mark whether her devotees have written it or she herself has written it, because it doesn't exactly mesh well with her earlier work. So there's what we read.
There's no complicated analogy of the historic times which is missing here.
Basically, if I am able to understand it, it's probably not her.
Sorry. Talk next.
Chalo.
So that's what they are saying, that they are basically saying that the same thing, the sun crosses every day, the moon is not tired, but people, we have a habit, humans have a habit of speaking ill of others. They don't, and then that causes them to be in an agony of being reborn again and again, because they can't get rid of that. So that's why you humans are being born again and again in this lifetime.
But Vinita, gossip is good.
It is networking. It's not gossip. It's networking. We are all networking right now.
They say that it's important to gossip in order to make connections.
Happy hormones.
Of course.
I thought happy hormones. But just do it enough as a social construct and not go deep. I think that's the message.
True.
What is the 6 and 7? Why?
Oh, so the last one. So the last one is na zayas na pyayas, na khayam han na short, na chas shat shay pat, na chas satan broad. So again, it's a question mark. Has she written it, or has her devotee written it, or somebody just who has a passion for her books has written it? So she says, neither was I born of anyone, nor did I bear anyone. Neither did I taste the hunt and the shont. It seems a woman in Kashmir, after giving birth, is asked to eat this herb, which is called hunt, and the shont is a ginger spice. It seems it's good for women who have just had a baby. And she said, neither did I come after 6 nor before 7. So now the question is, they're again saying that she had already given up on her earthly likings, and she had a very terrible mother-in-law, so that's why she never had a child. So she left these earthly things beyond not having conceived. So that's why she said she never gave birth to a child. But then when she says Nazayas, that is a question mark in the books. So they are saying, was she born like a regular child, or was she just an immaculate conception? They don't know. So it's a question.
Jesus Christ.
They said she is divine. So if we really think if she is divine, then she could have been just born without, because it seems there is no, I don't know. That's what these notes said, that there is no history of her genealogy or family. So then it's a question mark. So, but that I didn't research further into.
For someone to be divine, you have to be like manifested and not born through the mortal process.
And the last two lines, what I got from the Nachas Shai Pata Nachas Satan Bron, it seems during those days in Kashmir, people were used to women were easily having 6 to 7 children. So it was a norm. So that's these two lines again confuse the reader. Was she an immaculate conception? Because if she says, I was not born after the 6th child or before the 7th. So that means again, it's a question mark. How was she born? Right?
Actually, I really don't care how she was born.
Did she have any siblings? Do we know that? Just curious.
So
who cares?
I feel like it's a metaphor. Like I don't think it's taken literally.
Yeah. I think
it's
just something else is happening.
Yeah.
It's completely something else that we are
metaphor.
I think she has converted her into.
What is that?
It was in one of the people don't remember. हम last time कौन से वाक पढ़े थे हमने?
I wasn't there last time.
हाँ क्यों वो है हाँ
मतलब when हाँ
Suham
yeah
Suham and Hamsu.
yes
Okay.
Basically, it wasn't like a regular birth, conventional birth, and we want to give her a divine status. Is that what the work is?
No. She basically is saying I'm nobody.
Like the way I would, that's a really good way of putting it, Amrita. And I think the other thing I think she's trying to say is some circumstance made her become what she is. It's not necessarily she was born that way.
Right.
And I think she's talking about her true self. When you're saying it's not the body that is the true self, it's the consciousness, and the consciousness was never born, never died. It's always been there. So there's no question of course, the 6 and 7. I don't know where that might be just poetic thing, but that's the way I look at it.
6 and 7. I don't know. Totally speculative. They total tattvas are 36 in Kashmir Shaivism. So there is 6 square. It may have something to do with that. Just speculating. Beyond the 6 square tattvas is where Shiva is, Param Shiva is. Something to do with that. I don't know. One will have to think about it further. So the possible connections of 6 and 7.
Okay.
I want to ask one more thing. आज बे के साथ कत करान तो ब्रोंठस छा ब्रोंते वनान कि मतलब कैसे मैं उस कहाँ वनान कि
ब्रों पर क्यों
ब्रों
there's a dialect
so ये उस पे प्रश्न मतलब कैसे मैं छू always बोझ मत ब्रोंट पर
you can say broom also. Like वो shortcut में बोल दिया. US जैसे you have to enunciate in the UK. In the US we don't.
Water.
Same thing.
So in the US you can say bron. In UK you would have to say bron.
Purists and thanks.
Realists.
Or your W's and V's and O's and T's. Okay. 243-44. Shash.
Oh, mean way. Okay. Good go. Yes ne keh kaan tay choyni yes tarui sukkus shurvir yavdas neire andri ne gaile tas vehnui biolui shayne aise takray kaite vyapai so I think there is a comparison being drawn between a devotee, basically a human. Every human is supposed to be a devotee of Shiva. So there is a comparison being drawn between a devotee and a warrior. Now here, the point is, if a warrior is like fully geared up and goes into the battle, लेकिन उनके पास arrows नहीं है अपने quiver में, it's gonna be of no point. Like that person is gonna die immediately. Like that person is not gonna be able to do anything. So this is what the first two lines are saying कि अगर किसी वॉरियर के पास बैटल में एरोज नहीं है, मतलब इन्फरिंग अगर किसी ह्यूमन के पास वर्शिप करते टाइम वो नहीं है, मतलब लाइक अ ह्यूमन इज बॉर्न, they have a body and they are not using that body to worship Shiva, like to find the direction, so it's going to be futile. So the next line is, unless he has a definite aim to fight and has the seed of poison in his heart finished for all times, all his devotion is a futile exercise and he won't overcome duality between him and his Lord. So notes के अंदर ऐसे लिखा था कि like we are born again and again and eventually we are born in a human form, and now we are not using this human form, like we are not using the tool which we now have to our advantage to worship the God. We are wasting it, and basically the point is we should not waste it. So the analogy is like people are able to understand कि एक war के अंदर warrior arrows नहीं है, there is nothing they can do, and similarly even if you are like all geared up, you're gonna die. And similarly, like if you have this human form, you should use it to your advantage and like overcome the duality between yourself and the Lord.
One comment. Well, if people are going to die anyway, so how does it matter? Why does one have to do it? That's a question that a skeptic would ask, right? Why is she talking about you have to do this? Because if everybody is going to die, then does it matter that you?
But they don't.
Huh?
But the point is not death; it's about rebirth.
So what? But I personally think that's not very satisfactory. Of course, we do talk about rebirth. I think the answer is somewhat different. The answer is that the path of the warrior or path of the yogi also brings you extraordinary bliss. So you're not doing it for next life, although that's how she says it or that's how we are often told, but it makes this life meaningful.
In the notes I read, that's why I like opened the notes again. It says after changing numerous life forms, man gets human form with the purpose of achieving freedom from recurring cycles of birth and death.
I know, but a skeptic can always ask, why does it matter? Life is so much of fun. We love it. Why should we come back to life? Right? No, seriously.
I think about it. I think about it all the time. I was like, it's not that bad, I would like to relive, because there's such beauty. I wouldn't like to miss it. But then again, you have to think about what you're learning, that, hey, this is all Maya. So then it's very hard to convince yourself that, hey, do you really not want to be born? If you're like, you're right.
So I think the answer is that this whole thing about being born again is not in next life, it is in this life. There's a certain twist. And there's a twist. It's in this life when you become free of the chain of conditioned responses, which are our life, expectations and the way we've been taught. That's when you find that freedom within you. That's when you become,
So like you are reborn in the same lifetime. Right. You transform and you die and are reborn because you are learning and you are progressing in your consciousness.
Yes, absolutely. So you're reborn in this life, and that is what जो यज्ञ होता है ना, यज्ञ में वो जो sacrifice होती है, in that sacrifice you give up your past life and you're reborn. In fact, the whole theory of yajna में यही होता है, that you're reborn. But I think because it's more sukshma, this idea, that's why the idea of, okay, next life or the life after, because there's no proof of that, or even if there was no proof, you cannot convince yourself. So if you can't convince itself, then how does it matter? Right?
So I am convinced, but I am also convinced about your analogy, because not analogy, a theory, because we have experienced it with, let's say, even when we used to do the yagya, which you mentioned, during transformations, it really used to feel that you are a new person. But over time, like when you go back to your home, you kind of fall back into that rut. But in that moment, it still is transformative for sure. But like I go back to...
I'm going to say, but this all brings you to this assumption that you are separate from everybody else. And if that assumption is not there, there's only pure consciousness. If there is no, subject and object to begin with, if there's no time even to begin with, if there's no space to begin with, these are all constructs of a mind, right? Then all this is meaningless in any way, like it's just...
Okay. So there are bodies, we are all separate, there may be one consciousness, but it's true that the whole multiplicity is true. And therefore, the only way you can justify it is by saying that your life now will become blissful and extraordinary. Because, now, of course, in favor of reincarnation, since we know in the same family, there could be two siblings with very different Karan Sharir, meaning different personalities. Karan Sharir is what people say you bring to this life, which is from your previous life, right? Some kids are amazing, extroverted, beautiful. Some kids are more fearful and so on. But so that could be true. But the Karan Sharir doesn't remember the past life. So then does it really matter, right? Whatever the Karan Sharir is, we are here with whatever Karan Sharir we were born with. There's no way we can travel back, although there are people who say that you can travel back into your past lives, but these are just stories.
So, I do not agree with you completely because I that I have read a lot of Brian Weiss. I have mentioned him quite a few times, including in transformations that he read.
But which one did you say? Who?
Brian Weiss. He's a doctor, he's a psychiatrist. Okay. He hypnotizes people and takes them to past life regression. He does regression therapy. Anyways, and I thought about this. I was like, this all might be BS. And, what if there is no afterlife? And what if you're not reborn? And I thought about it a lot, and this might sound very crazy. But if there was rebirth after your enlightenment, the world would have been a better place than it was thousands of years ago. Why? Because thousands of years ago, people used to meditate a lot and it was a different yug. Ye Kal Yug hai. So, us yug mein, when people used to focus themselves into all this and they got enlightened. And who were reborn were all the ones who were left over. So basically, we didn't learn and we are just reborn over and over. And otherwise, I feel like the quality of people should have improved, but it has declined.
So what happens to Darwin's theory of natural selection? Basically, we messed up there.
Yeah, exactly.
The deselected ones are progressive.
But okay, this is a very drawn out theory, but I was just thought I
have an inclination to believe it. It's okay.
Well, but in any case, I think it's better to live in this life than think about the next one. Yeah. Because if you Sadhguru has said one thing very beautifully. He said that you are only living if you're dying every moment, because dying means you are ridding yourself of your previous memory, even if it is every second of memory. So because then you are reborn every second or every shan or whatever. So life is death, basically, his analogy was.
Then that is true, because wisdom comes from forgetting. And Krishna says you have smriti, which is memory, gyan, which is wisdom, but after that is apohan. Apohan is forgetting. So you have those flashes of epiphany. You see, I get it. And then you get back into your previous, modes of behavior. So apohan. But in Kashmir Shaivism, the equation is slightly different. Kashmir Shaivism, it says, because Shiva is within us, so what you start out with is Gyan. From there comes Smriti, and then comes Apohan. So forgetting is important. Forgetting is important, but forgetting is one small element. The other element really is, जैसे Kathopanishad में, कि Nachiketa goes to Yam to find the meaning to life. And really, ultimately, you have to be, in an emotional sense, be connected to the very sense of dying every day, not necessarily in an obsessive way, but in some sense to guide you. The greatest teacher, in my view, in this whole universe is Yama. Or wo to kehti hai Laleshwari. Now I can even say that Lalla says that. And that is indeed true. That is indeed true. And it's sort of counterintuitive because you can live life to the full only if you are prepared to give up on it. If you are afraid, then you can never live life to the full. Right?
Very well said. Yes, absolutely. Awesome. We are like so enlightened.
I know, it's very impressive to be in this group. I am in awe.
Is this the very last one, right? 244?
Yes.
Yeah.
reckon.
Okay, let's finish it and be over with the book.
No, not
We are
yet.
done with it, but we are going to go through some introduction notes and stuff that Amita has read probably, and I also read some like some description somewhere. So I have something to share also about the chakra. So you can go to the top again. So Amita, if you are, and Shruti has to finish 3 more.
Go ahead.
If we're done
अरे
with
तेरा
everything,
खत्म नहीं किया तूने?
नहीं, ये अभी
तू
नया
क्या कर
है.
रहा है फिर? तू क्या कर रहा है?
काश मेरे पास भी म्यूट करने की पावर होती.
ठेंगा.
Zagatas andar kuita poilim serit handan decens wat. मतलब such a mute. Thank you.
Bujas pansiwana, temi.
Okay. So
Dama icha Dyson's wat.
Dyson's wat. Okay. So what the meaning of this is कि Laleshwari has come to enlighten people and teach them how to worship God. And she is saying that everyone is trying to find God's Vat to God. But the next line is Shen mans ekis daya zuinim moinim to zuinim ishwari gat. It means that people are trying to find God, but only a few are able to do it. Now, why is that? The third line says...
Only one is...
Yeah, the third line says one has to also care for other people, other humans, because everyone is a creation of God. Everyone is equal in the eyes of God. So if people are only trying to find God and then being mean to each other, they are not going to find God. So you have to be nice to other people. You are not supposed to be cruel. And only then are you going to be able to find God. So, and the fourth line is Muinim to Zuinim, Ishwari Gat.
So hold on. So the third line to me, all she's saying is actually 1 out of every 6 people gets the grace of God. It doesn't.
Okay. 16%. Okay.
So she's saying basically very few people get the grace of God, and she's kind of surprised, it's a strange way of God, that he only gives.
He's explaining the first 2 lines. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, in the third line, it's kind of what you are saying. I think it's written here somewhere.
नहीं, तू जो बोला था, that was in the first 2 lines.
Yes. Yeah. How can the God's love be achieved without a soft attitude towards his creations, be it humans or animals or other creatures? So, yeah, and then eventually she is saying that she finally understood and then appreciates God's ways and God's creations and things like that.
Okay. So, I think we are done, right, with this?
I think Shruti, do you want to give it a try? They're ready.
Yeah.
you guys
We can do it together.
Yeah, let's do
मेरा
it
warm
together.
up हो चुका है, thanks to you all.
215.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I haven't read the notes, so that's the only reason.
That's okay. We only will write the notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
214.
I think 215 से ही शुरू हुआ ना? Let me check.
I think 214.
215, 215, 216.
This works.
Sorry, yeah, 21567.
Okay. The peek I took at them told me that they're all about Om. I think there's a series of Vaaks which are on the theme of Om. Omai akui achar porum. Suiha mali rotum vandas mans. Suiha mali kainipyat gorum tu tsorum. Osas saas sapnis swan. So yeah, the translation is ki I just read the one akshar Om, and I kept it in my heart lovingly, and Vanda, and she's talking, keeping it inside her heart. Suiha mali kanipet gorum. So the tsorum. So kanipet is like stone, right? Kani is stone. So I guess she's crushed a stone and
Gorum go sharpen.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
Gorum to tsorum. Correct.
Acha. So she literally polished herself into gold by the you chanting of Om. That's what she's saying.
चार तो होंगे ना सब्जी को.
हाँ, sorum. Yeah, tsar. Yeah.
चलो.
Yeah, these ones are straightforward actually, and it's actually we went through them last time with the Om section. Yeah.
Okay, next one, 216 is Omai Aditay Omai Sorum Omai Thurum Panunpan Anyat Travit Nyat Bosum Tavai Provum Parama Sthan. I'm not sure what Bosum is, but is it like Base? Something like that.
Basum, yeah, like to feel that way.
Yeah, experience.
Feel karna.
Feel karna. Experience. So yeah, she's saying, I think the translation says it well. Om is the beginning and Om is the end. And I constituted my whole being with this sound. I set aside all commonplace and began experiencing his presence within me. And that's how I reached the supreme station of the Lord. Tave provum parmasthan.
Very nice.
Cool.
It's it's nice. I think I attended last weekend just out of curiosity, or my aunt was instructing. I attended the Art of Living Sky course, and the way they explained Om and how you experience what you experience when you say that the three parts of Om, that was interesting, and yeah, I can see that theme here. Like I remember that theme here, because it's like the three sounds of Om is like the beginning sound is supposed to create vibrations near your stomach, and then the U part is higher, and then the M part is higher. So that I think we could sort of feel it when you broke the sound down. So yeah, that was interesting.
Cool.
The third one is Omai Chu Vat Pat Omai Chu Swarun Omai Chu Vapdish Apurzan Omai Parun Omai Chu Swarun Om Se Sat Kar Zani Zan.
Om Se Suit Kar Zani Zan.
Om Se Sut Kar Zani Zan. So familiarize yourself with it completely and intimately, because it is the center of everything. crux of all devotion and the choicest word to be meditated upon. The divine single command ever delivered by Supreme Shiva.
What a way to end. It's a good thing, probably, that you postponed it. So,
I cannot believe we're done.
Yeah, no, actually, we could have been done faster, but I don't think we wanted to. So this was amazing. Thank you and congratulations, everybody. And Amita will go with the intro, and if she, if she wants to share anything that jumped out at her or summarize, because we didn't go through the intros and the preface and everything.
Page number? Sairkot, here.
Nick was going to preface. So मैंने ये 3 घंटे पहले पढ़ा है, and I summarized everything in my head. Then I lost everything, so I had to read it again. But I'll try to kind of,
That's pretty trash.
high points. Okay? So in preface, it's basically Jawaharlal Bhaji, जिन्होंने ये लिखा है. It's his journey of how he got into, listening to Vox and, chanting those and then actually writing about them. So he's basically saying that his family was very kind of religious, and they used to sing all these devotional songs and Lal Vaakh, and that was
his father.
Yeah, his father used to do it, but he made the kids also do it. So his whole family, they used to do it together, and they also sang other devotional songs. And slowly he started reading more and more about Lala Dad, and he got into got more and more interested in her life and Lal Vaakh, and he started translating them, which was not easy process for him. He had to edit it, he had to translate it, and he tried to translate it in 3 different languages so that it can reach to a lot of people, and not just Kashmiri people, but other, all across the world. And he says that I think he posted something in Facebook, and the reaction he got kind of motivated him in kind of completing the book, which is really nice because social media is playing a huge role in spreading the word, Lal Dad. I know my daughter, who's 14 years old, she talked to me like, "Mom, are you doing Lal Dad? I like her poems." I was like, "Tumne kab suna uska poems?" She's like, "I listened to them. I think somebody had posted on Facebook, and one of her Kashmiri friends shared it with her." And I was like, "Yeah, yaar, mujhe to malum nahi tha," but she's into it too. She's like, "Mom, I wish I had known. I would have joined you too." So I guess it's really nice that he was able to finish this book eventually. So that's basically it. It's his journey of how he started and how he finished the book. And in introduction, he's basically talking about history of Kashmir. Kashmir mein, like long time ago, it was all about Sanskrit. People used to believe in Shiism, and they used to be very devotional, and slowly and steadily all these rulers who try to dilute our religion by forcing people to convert and everything. But there was a group of people, a group of saints. They kept the Sanskrit or things going so that people still had some touch with our culture, with our roots. So it says that Kashmir, मैंने इसको थोड़ा summarize किया, थोड़ा इसमें वो document में cut paste किया. Kashmir produced 2 types of saints. The first category comprises of those thousands of men and women who engaged themselves in toughest penance and hard toil under the guidance of their spiritual masters for the awakening of their self and personal spiritual advancement. And there was a second group like Lal Dad who actually wanted others to benefit from whatever they found in their life. So Lal Dad ka kya kehte ki she was born in as per Jawaharlal ji, because there are a lot of different theories about her birth. Like some people say she was not born, she just appeared like Jesus Christ. But there's one section where he says that she was born in 1317 and she passed away in 1388. And by then, Kashmiri people they were kind of into Shaivism, and they were kind of, slowly and steadily kind of getting converted by Muslim raiders, and aa rahe the from different parts of the world. But when she started her teachings, that influenced people a lot, because she was not just focused on religion. She was focusing on spiritualism and humanitarian things and all that stuff. So she was touching Muslims and Buddhists and everybody, not just Hindus. So uska focus kya tha? She was focused a lot on yoga and breathing and all those things. So she was not just preaching religion. She was basically preaching कि भाई अच्छा काम करो, do your duties, and she also kind of didn't want people to give up their life, like घर बाहर छोड़ के मतलब don't go to forests and don't do all those things. Let me read the last. Let me see. Lalishwari doesn't recommend a renunciation for the ultimate awakening of self. She gives high value to a householder who performs all duties towards his family and society, keeping well his heart somewhere else in order to seek the higher purpose for himself. So she didn't want people to, like how she did. She turned into a saint and she gave her family and everything. She didn't want everybody to do that. She wanted people to focus on their family, but at the same time, not get too deep into that, and kind of also seek the higher purpose for like hamara kya hai, ultimate goal is Lord Shiva. So let's see what else does she say. He has his goals nearer to him than a wanderer in the mountains, away from the world. The sacrifice of a man in the midst of worldly attractions is far greater than the one of who escaped life to fear of involvement. She's again talking about people who kind of stay with their families. They're doing, they're doing their worldly duties, but at the same time, they are focused on attaining their ultimate goal too of, finding Lord Shiva. So it's like actually, wohi log jo aisa karte hain, they are the highest kind of spiritual people. They are the highest leaders, क्योंकि they are doing two things at the same time. वो घर बार भी maintain कर रहे हैं, and they are reaching their ultimate goal too. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Yeah, I think
It's like 15 pages of talking about Kashmir history and Lal Vaakh. But he has also mentioned a little bit about how, even though he talks about her birth and death, he also says that there are a lot of people who believe that she was not born, like in a physical form. She just, appeared one day, and that's where the 6th and 7th, just like not after 6th and before 7th. So he has talked a little bit about that too in it. And a little bit about Kota Rani.
Because it was in the same, in the same century, and that's when.
Yeah, he also mentioned something about how people did not talk about it between 15th and 17th century, even though she was, in there. She was, if she's born in 1315 or 1317, there should be people who knew her. There should be, her Lal Vaakh, everybody knew though.
But it was destroyed, right? I mean, Kashmir was destroyed after Kota Rani, and there was a tumultuous time.
That's what he's saying, that between 15th and 17th century, nobody ever, they didn't even know about Lal Vaakh. It's only after that people started kind of revisiting Lal Vaakh, and they started reading her poems and the Vaaks. And I don't know if this is just a rumor, if it's true, but last year when I went to Jammu, Kashmir, and somebody told me that Muslims in Kashmir, Lal Vaakh has always been called Lal Vaakh and Lal Arifa, but now it's become like she was a Muslim because she converted after she saw that king and everything. I was like, that is nonsense. That looks like, I don't know again if it's truth or just a rumor, that all the people, new generations, are actually taught that she's a Muslim.
Yeah, so there are YouTube.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay with that as long as the Vaaks speak about Om and should.
Yeah, but they're changing her, like, pura uska history change kar rahe hain, that she was, she converted and she's a Muslim and she's a Lal Arifa.
I think it's fine as long as they don't kill each other. That's all right. We are not there to kill anymore. So anyway, okay. Anything else? And I want to just share something that I wanted to just touch upon, which was pranayama that we mentioned. But we are going to
just look at the picture in the beginning, that there is a picture of chakra. So let's look at that, and I'll read a little bit and then we can conclude. Yeah, this one. So here it says in the notes, Lal followed Trika or Kashmir Shaivism, which adopts Laya Yoga, popularly known as Kundalini Yoga in Kashmir, in her spiritual advancement. In her poem, she has prescribed definite regulations for the realization of the divine in one's own being. In order to understand her poems, one has to be acquainted with Kundalini Shakti. Kundalini is believed to be a source of infinite energy seated at the lower end of the spinal cord around the genital part of the human body called Swayambhu. The energy is aroused and brought up to the crown of the head, the highest seat of cosmic energy center called Sahasrara, considered the abode of Lord Shiva. Through deep concentration of mind, mantras, and yogic exercises, especially pranayama. According to this yoga, there are 6 chakras: Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, and Ajna, or centers of cosmic powers in human body. The Kundalini Shakti, when aroused, travels up through these chakras and reaches finally to the Sahasrara chakra, which is located at the crown of the head, where it becomes one with Lord Shiva, the ultimate goal of all spiritual seekers. Now, I think that's essentially what I wanted to share about this whole. This is why we read the book, and we get the knowledge, but unless we practice it, I guess we will not know. However, practicing it also, how it affected people. We will read it in a book called Kundalini, Awakening of Kundalini by Pandit Gopi Krishna. After dawn, probably we should read that. And I wanted to ask this question to Subhashji, but I think he dropped off. That we will connect why AI cannot be conscious is because AI does not have the chakras, let's say. So how important is the human body for transformation? So because Kundalini is the center, and then there are 2 more channels that move from are on the left and the right of the Kundalini, called Iga and Pingla, I think. Ida and Pingla. Ida and Apana. Okay. Sorry. Ida and through Ida while Apana. Yeah. So it says these are Ida and Pingla, and prana flows through Ida while Apana flows through Pingla. So, and the Kundalini is in the center. Now, obviously, if you think about, so we have to define consciousness, which actually Subhaji had done very well, and also connect it to AI, because consciousness is like so then it would be the only thing that will make us separate from the AI, because kriya to hum aaram se, matlab it does it very well, but what is special in us which cannot be replaced or is unique to the humans? And I feel like in the future everybody will go towards spirituality, because that is the unique thing that they have, apart from away from the technology. So I will have Subhashi give that lecture to us at one or two sessions. Well, congratulations with that. I think we should take a picture with this, like a screenshot if you can. So everybody smile, and Shashwat will do the honors while he has actually turned off his camera, it seems like.
I am here. I am here.
Okay, Shashwat. नहीं हाँ शाश्वत एक फोटो ले ले इसके साथ, चक्रास के साथ हमारी, और उसकी
पिंकी फिर बेचारा हमारे साथ शुरू से लंदन के शुरू के बाद से. You've been good Finn, good boy.
He's the only one who has understood all of it.
Yes, किस्मत अच्छी थी जो उसने सुने, right?
Right.
Okay. Thank you everyone. Bechu Mubarak.
एक मिनट. Yeah.
And I mean, coincidentally happening on, Buddha Purnima.
Yeah.
But in your case, it's still happening.
एक
So
second.
quite an iconic moment.
Yeah.
एक सेकंड लीव मत करना. Say location Vatan ke. You
Okay, smile. I'm taking a screenshot. He.
Sabka.
After me.
Okay.
Actually, it's like Akhtul me is like I took one and also take one of mine. How confusing.
म्योंतितुल ना
मैं आपको उस दिन बोल रहा था ना, हम लोग कश्मीरी में एब्रीविएट बहुत करते हैं. अख्तुल म्योन होगा करेक्ट, लेकिन अख्तुल में भी चलता है.
हाँ, right. अच्छा कुनी काट कर मसरती. Okay, sounds good, guys. So, I'm really happy. So because starting Lalgad, we were not a lot of you. We were like 5 permanent people, and then now we are kind of 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actually. 6 permanent people. Now we are 8 plus Subhashji also kind of joins very regularly. So I hope we. So yeah, you can stop the recording. Thanks for that. And we will be doing Betal Pachisi. I think we should do the first